so that cities don't just say, okay, we can have tougher sentencing, we can have more police on the streets, we can have these police interventions, and not say we're going to heal the people from the inside out. Which means that people have to fundamentally choose to believe that people can change, that they want to change, and that the violence is not born in.
Absolutely.
So the stigmatization can be reduced.
Absolutely.
Crazy. This whole thing about like expanding, there's also this thing that we're so, I guess the expectations have become so low that they only think that we should only concern ourselves with, you know, the violence on the streets, how clean the neighborhoods are. So when you say, wow, there are more people enslaved in the world right now than ever was, including during the Middle Passage, that, you know, trying to get people to think about that is not a worthy effort. Trying to get people to think about global peace is too spacey.
Exactly.
And the latest thing we're getting these kids involved with is the fresh water supply that's diminishing on the planet, and how private industry has bought the rights to water in some countries, and that even if you put a rain collector on your roof and collect rain, it's a crime. And they can take your house, they can take your land. So, you know, I mean, these are like issues that sometimes are the thing that the organizing and activism conversation sometimes is the shock that gets them to start organizing and seeing their whole lives in a larger perspective.
Absolutely, and they're all over it. So we talked about like, well, why, you know, why is global warming not a issue that's always discussed? And then they got to, is it money related? Then they got to, right, the politics around that. Then they got to, so how come it's not a daily conversation? The government, is there money related? And I was just like, that's what we have to research. And then you have to have the audience, like, who is going to be your audience and why? And then we talked about that. So it's just the connecting.
I really wish, the reason why I keep asking you about possibly capoeira is because sometimes the school itself is not cannot solve the problem by itself. So who and not just like partners that come in and bring a nice intervention here.
Exactly.
It's who are the community agencies that catch the young people in their home, especially in a school that ends at 1:15. Like literally, they're out right now. Oh man! So when they go home, who are the Nija has a conversation about the YWCA she goes to and how much leadership development is going there, and she's like, I go there every day. It's my drop-in center basically. That is a healthy container for a kind of girl like her that's willing to go into the South End. You know, what's happening in Dorchester, what's happening in Mattapan, what's happening in Cobman Square, what's happening in Upham's Corner, that catches these young people, gives them these tools, and also, frankly, what's really going on, which is the mentoring and caring that they're getting from people like you.
So we have to connect.
And how we weave the fabric of that and make that a fundamental part of violence prevention and health, public health.
Right. So we need to work on that because I guess
I'm ever available.
So the first piece is me coming, like you said, coming by. What days you meet and where? That's where it's at. So then. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of easy. One is that we have the South End, the Ruggles Street location, which Ruggles across the street from Whittier Street Health Center is this church called St. Francis. Yeah. That place, and I guess how to tell you, there's ashe in that place. I started a conversation with Mr. Cox about that. There's something waiting. It might even be just temporal, or like this, the building's going to get sold or something like that soon. It's either it's a temporal opportunity, or our being there is going to reshape the future of that place. It's crazy. It's like a force of nature in our lives. The building itself is like a force of nature in our lives. And that's Wednesday, and then Saturday is sort of like a more generic place.
Right.
It's kind of nice place to build energy, but it doesn't have that thing.
Where's that?
Epiphany School next to Shaman Station.
Right. What time on Wednesdays?
6 to 8. And plus, we'll make other classes. We'll make a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll do something specifically for this. I'll come out here. If somebody could organize a container, like Winston couldn't do it himself, and the other lady was thinking of it just as an activity, but somebody who understands the activity and the intention underneath it.
Yeah. So we need to make
there must be 7 or 8 girls and boys that were part of it. And then I don't know how to find Daquan other than this because he lives in Roslindale.
Here, because we have the after-school program for the 9th graders.
What does it consist of other than martial arts?
So, it's theater, it's martial arts, it's dance, it's a homework center that is just because every time someone needs a break, like a teacher to organize. So I do the homework center. So and it's a health nutrition component, and it's a media piece. Mosaic is coming back from Home Inc. And so we have 7 pieces, but we need another program. But from that program could then flush out. So it's an hour and a half you know, 4 days, whatever one can give, 4 days, and then one of those, or 3 days, and one of those days they're doing academic piece. So that's how we have it now.
What's the funding stream for that?
Technically, it's like I mean, that would be conversation, because right now, limited.
Not like funding to pay instructors, but how is it funded that teachers stay the extra hours and all of that?
Well, right, it's stipend, and so that's where the crunch comes. So it's stipend. So we all get a small stipend, but it's really around the benefit of having partners. That's the supplementation now, bringing in the partners to be like, okay, what's available. So.
And did anybody fund those stipends? Like, did you get a grant specifically for that?
No, but we need to get one. So this year it came out of just our budget for SJA.
Boston After School and Beyond, this huge grant on out of school time.
We need to connect.
Elementary, and I was maybe even middle school,
but not for high school. And that's where we're lacking. The system itself is lacking funds for the high school level.
The Gates Foundation is focusing only on high school.
That's how we got this. That's how
we funded the school. Actually.
That's how the school is funded.
But not really emphasizing. They were emphasizing small schools as an infrastructure.
Right.
Not the components of what. Not every minute component of what happens in a school like this.
Like this.
Should there be arts?
Right.
Like the use of complex language that those kids put into making their poems and their raps is a predictor for adult income and self narrative on how well they're doing in their life and how happy they are. Income, and of course testing and schools and the secondary education. So where's the art program that motivates them to study and research like they do when they write poetry or when they write rap or when they study capoeira and have to say, I want to learn a whole nother language now to understand this art form. These are this is the real key, I think, to unlocking the process of them becoming learners, not students.
Exactly.
Like I'm a learner, I have my own objectives on what I acquire in terms of knowledge, not just I'm doing what the teacher asked me to do, waiting to get out of here.